I call the Wednesday, August 6, 2025 meeting of the Currituck County Historic Preservation Commission to order. Are there any disqualifications for the business before us tonight?
Yes, there is. I would like to recuse myself from voting against or for my own property.
Thank you, Ms. Serpico. You are recused. I also own an adjacent piece of property, but I do not have any formed opinion for or against this, the business before us this evening. Okay, are there any other disqualifications? All right, that being said, we have a quorum still with the disqualification. We have Miss Barbara Snowden, Miss Mary Simmons, and myself. We will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, with a motion second, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed, like sign. The agenda is approved. Next, we have our May 15th, 2025 minutes. Any discussion or motion to accept the minutes that were emailed out previously?
I make a motion, we accept.
I'll second.
Can she second for this? Or she's not just, okay, for the whole meeting. Okay. All right, thanks. Second from Virginia Serpico. Is there, or Gresty rather. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, like sign. May 15th minutes are accepted. And there is no unfinished business. So the next thing tonight is the new business. Number one, HPC 25-02 MC Pointer House. Anthony Agresti is requesting certificate of appropriateness to install a wood-built traditional style gazebo at the southeast side of the house. The property is located at 219 Shingle Landing Road, tax map 14B, parcel 26, Moayak Township, and is designated as a local historic landmark. Tonight, or the hearing tonight is an evidentiary hearing subject to a quasi-judicial proceeding. The commission will be considering competent material evidence and making a determination. So anyone who wishes to be heard tonight needs to be sworn in. And so if you're representing any of the applicants and want to speak on this item tonight, please come up to be sworn.
Okey-dokes.
Okay. Place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, thank you. All right, over to planning staff. If you can please present the certificate of appropriateness.
Just as a framing of why we're here tonight, it's a certificate of appropriateness specifically for major works. And a COA confirms proposed changes on in this case, a landmark building, and to ensure that they comply with preservation regulations. Major works specifically, in this case, involves a change in appearance, and that includes the moving of structures on, off, or within a property. We follow the Secretary of the Interior standards adopted as design guidelines. Now, the importance of a major works COA is multifold, but it includes ensuring changes are compatible with the historic character of the property. It protects the integrity of the landmark's architectural heritage. And last but not least, certainly provides a fair and transparent public process for us to do this. Stepping back a little bit by several thousand feet, looking down, we have the MC Pointer House. It's at 219 Shingle Landing Road in historic Moayak Village. Anthony and Virginia Agresti own the property. It's on 1.44 acres and was designated as a historic landmark in July 20th of 2020. To look a little closer, highlighted is the parcel that we're discussing. Surrounding this parcel on the northern end is Shingle Landing Creek, so that area is riparian. To the south and east is residential. The property to the east is single-family mainland. The property to the south, even though it's residential, is zoned general business. And the parcel to the west is zoned general business and is the current site of the former Moyoc Market. The integrity statement for this landmark property includes location, design, setting, and workmanship. The MC Pointer House was completed with construction in 1899. Again, we covered the location. It remains in its original location adjacent to Shingle Landing Creek and is at the intersection of Camellia Drive and Shingle Landing Road. As I mentioned previously, again, this is the heart of the historic Moyoc Village. The house incorporates high Queen Anne architecture with an Eastlake influence. For those that aren't deeply familiar with that, I'll cover a few more details of that, again, just for framing of what we're looking at and discussing tonight after this slide. The setting has remained mostly unchanged. Again, it still fronts Shingle Landing Road, and in the rear, to the rear of the parcel, the north lawn slopes down to the creek. And the workmanship shows a high level of craftsmanship and design, notably the wraparound porches, the spindle frieze, the detail milled and pierced brackets, the gable end molded cornice and returns, even the sunburst pattern of the gables and the heavy scrolled console-like brackets of each original window. So there's a lot of specific architectural pieces that are applicable to why this property was deemed a landmark quality. I mentioned before, this is a Queen Anne style architectural piece with an Eastlake influence, and just wanted to share a little bit of information about that in case anyone wanted deeper information. Queen Anne was an architectural style in the U.S. from 1880 to 1910. Its peak actually was specifically when this home was completed in construction. And some of those features are asymmetrical facades with gables. The photo certainly gives visual representation of that, as well as the wraparound porch that extends along multiple sides of the home. The photo also shows the ornamental spindles and brackets on the porches and gables, and then the paint schemes for paint schemes used for these types of architecture typically use bold use of color. They were not timid. Now, Eastlake influence is actually a sub-style of Queen Anne, and Eastlake was a British architect, and his influence was in maintaining the style but adding additional intricate woodwork pieces to this, specifically making it machine cut and ornamentation. So that was very successful. That the intent was you had the quality of craftsmanship, but not necessarily the expense and the timeliness of one-off pieces. So that actually helped the style flourish, at least in construction in the U.S. Another specific piece worthy of mentioning for the Eastlake influence is the brackets and the balusters on porches and railings. You'll actually see that in the proposed project addition. And as I mentioned before, there's an emphasis on maintaining style and quality, but making that craftsmanship affordable. Let's get into the proposed work, both as far as placement and materials. The placement is to install a 10-foot by 12-foot wooden gazebo. Its location, I'll show a site plan in a moment to give you a visual of that, but the placement will be on the rear/side of the lawn, roughly 20-foot setback from the home. And additionally, no poured foundation is required. There's no tree removal or additional hardscaping proposed or anticipated. As far as materials for the gazebo itself, it's pressure treated wood framing. It has decorative brackets and balusters, as I mentioned, which is hand in hand with the Eastlake style. And this complements the home's details and style for specifically their porch. The intent is, and as you see in the photograph, this is a photo of it unfinished. The intent is to stain it and maintain that visual appearance. To speak a little more in detail for the placement, here's a site plan. North is, and it's hard to tell in this visual perhaps on your screen, but north is in the northwestern corner of this image. You see the home fronting Shingle Landing Road, and then the red rectangle indicates the proposed location for the gazebo, and this is to scale. To the right are some viewpoints from where the gazebo will actually exist on the property. It will not interfere with, it will not interfere as an obstacle from the Shingle Landing Road as an observer or passerby. So the staff analysis and recommendation is fairly straightforward. The analysis has concluded that the proposed work is compatible in design, materials, and scale with historic properties. It references main house details. However, it doesn't do that in a falsely historic appearance. It's not of low quality. As I mentioned earlier, it's located at the side rear. This preserves views of the historic home from public viewpoints. It's an open design and materials minimize that visual impact, as well as this proposal meets zoning regulations and setback requirements. So with that said, the recommendation is approval of the certificate of appropriateness, and it bears mentioning that any changes to location or design details shall require staff level or commission review as needed.
Okay. Thank you.
Are there any
Okay.
questions for me before we move?
I just have one just on procedure. Certificates of appropriateness, do they go to the Board of Commissioners or just here? This is it. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. I think that's it. All right. So will the applicant, Ms. Agresti, please present her case?
Yes, hello. We basically need a spot to be able to hang out or eat outdoors without getting attacked by mosquitoes. We don't currently have any shelter from mosquitoes, and believe me, I racked my brain for something cheaper than a gazebo. But I didn't want to attach anything to the house, and anything freestanding in the backyard is at risk of being blown away by a hurricane because we have pretty bad winds here. So I think the safest thing for us all is to have that wooden built gazebo with a screen. It's going to have a screen and a typical screen door, so we can actually have a place that we could, just hang out or eat in relative safety. So I appreciate your consideration on this matter.
Okay. Thank you. Do any commission members have any questions for the applicant? All right. Thank you. Hearing none, is there anybody from the public that would like to speak or any public comment? Hearing none, unless there's any questions from the commission, I think we can close the public hearing. Any further comments or questions from the commission members? Okay. The public hearing is closed. Any further discussion from the board? If there is none, we can take a motion.
I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness for the proposed gazebo addition at the MC Pointer House, a designated landmark property as submitted. The proposed design is compatible with the historic character of the site in terms of scale, materials, and placement. It does not compromise the integrity of the historic structure or its setting, and it meets the Secretary of the Interior's standards as design guidelines.
Okay, is there a
I
second?
second.
And there's a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Virginia, you can come back up. All right, any announcements?
I have an announcement.
Yes.
Late last week, we received an application with the intent for landmark status. So I will be getting work on that staff report. Well, it's in play already.
Yes.
So look forward to that. It's another iHouse.
Oh.
It's 3305 Caratoke.
The place.
It's Eileen Worth.
Oh,
still lives
yes,
here at the house.
yes. Okay, yeah, I know which house you mean.
Far down
Uh-huh.
to the courthouse.
Yep. Yep.
So I have a planned site visit with them on the 11th to
Very good.
see the state of it. So
That would be our 5th, so that would be great.
Okay.
Any other announcements?
Yes, I put at your desk the editorial from the Virginia Pilot of June 26, and it's talk about preservation in Virginia. And you may ask why, since we're in North Carolina. I think it has some good information. The main thing that it has relevance to is that right now, even though preservation funds were approved by Congress, they are still sitting, waiting to be dispersed. Now, this is for last year's budget. How does that affect us? We know about federal preservation and state preservation. How it affects us as if these funds are not released to the state of North Carolina, it is assumed, this is from their figures at the North Carolina Historical Commission meeting last month, that they will have to lay off 14 preservationists in the state. Now, every time we have a house, the first thing we have to do is y'all have to send it to the state. It has to be approved. They have to read it, they have to make comments, and they have to return it to us. If there are short 14 people in that one office, that wasn't the whole Department of Archives and History. That was only in the preservation office. Our process is going to be slow. And I don't know, there's not very much we can do about it unless some of you have great political influence. I definitely know I don't. But I think you need to read this, and I think we need to talk about it with preservation groups and with people who, like us, want to see some of these buildings preserved.
All right. Any other announcements? All right. Hearing none. Any public comments? All right. Hearing none. We can entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
With a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All opposed, aye. Aye. All opposed. Motion passes. We're adjourned.